Okay, so welcome year 11 to Modern History. It's a new year for us, and I'm hoping that it will be a informative and also quite interesting ride ahead for us. I haven't taught all of you, so I'm going to just use this opportunity for you to warm up to your modern history brain, get it turned on, get it working. What we will be doing throughout at least this unit and probably this year is doing some of these flipped videos where I will attempt to convey the more administrative information to you. So instead of using class time to talk about our new topics, to talk about how to do assessment tasks and things like that, I will do them in this flipped mode so that not only do you have it as a constant resource to keep coming back to, but also we can use our class time a lot more effectively. But to ensure that the videos get watched, I will be embedding tasks in them. So our task today is quite simple. You're just going to use these slides to fill in the blanks on the syllabus that's on page 2 of your work booklet. So at the moment it looks a bit like a closed passage, but I haven't given you the word bank of missing words because you need to use this video to fill in the missing words. The syllabus will also act as a means of tracking your progress throughout this unit. So once we complete a dot point or a concept, you can tick it off, highlight it, cross it off if you like, so that you're really tracking your progress and you can see how far you've come. So our new topic is the nature of modern history, looking specifically at the contestability of the past. Now that sounds a bit daunting, but what it's really about is understanding how narratives of history are constructed. So that means, how do historians gather information that is useful and reliable enough to base an argument on? So we'll be looking at sources, and we'll also be looking at how sources can be useful and reliable, authentic, and used to develop an argument about the past. So why did I choose to do this unit? Well, firstly, source work is the main tool of the trade, if you like, for a historian. So being able to cope and deal with and critically evaluate sources is very important to our study of history. It will also feature very heavily in every assessment task and exam that you do from here on in. So if we start looking at them now, then we can really develop this skill, which is sometimes and in some ways a bit difficult sometimes. So we will look at sources critically. We will learn how to use sources to develop an argument about the past, just like a historian, because for all intents and purposes, while you're in my history classroom, you are an historian. We will think deeply about what makes a source biased, considering its historical context, because students have a tendency to think that just because sources might be only showing one perspective, that makes them biased and therefore unreliable. But if we take this example of a British soldier in World War I talking about his life in the trenches, we know that he can't speak with any authority on what the German trenches are like if he hasn't been there and lived in one. So even if his letter home is only talking about the British trenches and the conditions in those trenches, we cannot dismiss that source as biased and unreliable, because in the context, it's really quite understandable why the source does not promote other perspectives. So we'll start looking at things like that. And then, to cap it off, we will apply all of this knowledge about sources in a practical fashion by undertaking an historical investigation. So in this investigation, we will choose our own topics, so everyone will do something different, and it's your choice what you do. And then you'll look for sources of your own, you will evaluate them and use them to develop an argument about the past. So the focus of this unit: students investigate problems relating to the contestability of the past, focusing on sources available to historians. So that's basically what I've already just said, but this is straight out of your syllabus. So we'll examine and investigate problems relating to sources and arguments about the past. And what are we going to learn? This is also from your syllabus. How historians test hypotheses about the past through the corroboration of sources. So hypothesis is a potential solution, and how they test whether their solution is accurate or their judgment is accurate through the corroboration of sources, that is the agreement of sources. We'll look at problems associated with the evaluation of sources, particularly authenticity and reliability and usefulness for particular inquiries. We will also consider the importance of understanding the historical context in the interpretation of sources. And finally, the role of sources and evidence in the evaluation of different theories about the past. That sounds like a wild ride ahead for us, Year 11. So, have you filled in all the blanks on your syllabus? If you haven't, you need to do so and come to class with any questions you might have, and putting your Year 7 to 10 history knowledge, pulling it out of the filing cabinet, dusting it off, ready to start thinking about what are sources, what are primary sources and secondary sources. Start warming up that old history knowledge that you might have forgotten or packed away somewhere.